Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tips with Tony, brought to you by FP20 Analytics. This is where I like to share practical Power BI tips to help you build smarter, more intuitive reports. Today's tip was inspired by a real client challenge. Can field parameters filter other field parameters? The short answer is yes. It just requires a bit of setup. To break it down, I put together a quick walkthrough to show you the challenge, solution, and benefits of this approach. Let's take a look. So to walk you through this scenario again, essentially our client had a quite complex data model. And in this, they had created a self-service type reporting where users could select rows and columns to add to a table visual. But because their model was so expansive, it became cluttered and overwhelming. The solution would be to modify those field parameters in order for them to filter one another so that the report becomes more intuitive, dynamic, and easier to use. So we're going to take a look at how to do this in Power BI by creating a hierarchy or grouping key and then linking those together in the model. So let's see what this looks like. Okay, so I'm going to quickly walk you through a demo of this in action. So in our attribute select, if I open up the slicer, you can see I have call time, type, and variance. And I've created these hierarchies. And then underneath that, we have attributes that we can select that roll up to those hierarchies. If we come over to the metric select, you can see that we have the exact same three options. And underneath those buckets, we have metrics that we can select. So if I come back to my attribute select and I only want to see things that pertain to call type, now you see we've brought in call type, outgoing calls, and termination code. If we open up our metric select, the only thing available to us is anything that's related to that same type of hierarchy. So inbound calls per resolution, etc. Once they're here, we can pick and choose which ones we want to see in the visual, because that's the beauty of field parameters, but we're not overwhelmed by options like we were before we had made a selection. So this really makes it intuitive and easy to navigate for your end users when you're setting up something like self-service reporting. So what does this look like in the back end? If we open up our table view, and we hop into the attribute select. Then this is where the work kind of comes in the planning. So once you've created your field parameters, which we're not going to cover to keep things kind of short and sweet, once you've created that, you can add these options to the end of the original code that's created for the field parameter. And these will create these two columns that you see here. So once I put in something like call time, which is my hierarchy, and then I put in this code, which is going to be the key that I use to link my two tables together. So once you do that, it creates these two columns. And then once you organize these into hierarchies or groups that make sense, you just continue to do that for every single one. So this is something where potentially it might be easier work to do in Excel if you've got a lot of stuff to work with, or you can do it right here in Power BI Desktop. So once I've created all of those, I would do the exact same work for my metric select. So whatever you have as a metric select that aligns with your attributes. So if I only want to see call times, which measures do those pertain to? And that's what you're going to put here as far as the organization for call time, and then that code that aligns with the code from the attribute select. So really, we're just doing some modeling, which builds off of some of our skill builder series that we have done. So if you want to, look in the links below and you can see how to do that for more advanced techniques. So if we take a look at the model now, and this is really how you bring all of those pieces together. So I've already created a relationship. So if I click on that, you can see that I have a relationship between sk underscore type in the metric select and the attribute. And if you see, if we pop open the properties pane, metric select skew, and we have a many-to-many, which makes sense in this case, and then to our attribute select, and then the cross filter direction, I have selected it to be that our attribute will filter our metrics. Now, you can also have that the opposite way. Metric filters attribute, or both. Doesn't matter which one you select, it will filter one another. So it really comes down to what your end users are one, asking for, or two, what's going to make the most sense for the field parameters and the way that your report is set up. So just understand that all of those options are available to you. So once that's all done, that brings all of these together, and now your field parameters filter one another. And that's how you can link field parameters to filter each other in Power BI, a simple technique that makes a big difference in usability and self-service reporting. If you found this tip helpful, give it a like, drop a comment if you've tried something similar, and don't forget to subscribe for more quick, practical Power BI tips. Thanks for watching and have a great day.